Chapter 234. All this felt like a coincidence, but how could there be such a coincidence? Jake had a vague feeling that all of these were definitely related to Alex. Therefore, he could only kneel in front of Alex because he no longer cared about his own reputation. Emma did not know what the other party had told Jake over the phone. Therefore, she could only say in surprise, "Peter, isn't your company doing well? What are you talking about? Besides that, even if you're facing bankruptcy, what has it to do with Alex?" Jake knelt on the ground as he said, "Emma, I'm so sorry for offending you a while ago. I admit my mistake and I'm begging for your forgiveness. My company called me earlier to tell me that one of my biggest customers had called to terminate their contract with us. Moreover, all the banks have just called to collect the money that I have borrowed from them. I am done for this time. Please help put in a good word for me in front of Mr. Anderson. Otherwise, there isn't a way for me to survive in this world anymore." Emma was taken aback at this time and she simply replied, "I think you've made a mistake, Peter. I don't think Alex holds so much power." Alex also replied faintly, "Peter, everything in this world has its cause and effect. It's useless to ask me for help. You should reflect on yourself." After that, Alex led Emma into the car before he got into the car. After Alex drove away, Jake was still kneeling on the side of the road with a blank expression on his face. A large crowd of people had already gathered around him as they stared at him in surprise. At this time, the crowd of people could not help but whisper among themselves. However, Jake could not take it anymore. Even though he was a highly successful and well-respected person today, he would become a beggar on the streets tomorrow. No, he would not even be a beggar. He did not have any money at all and he owed people more than hundreds of millions of dollars in liquidated damages. At this time, Jake's cell phone started ringing again and his assistant's flustered voice sounded on the other end of the line. "Mr. Diesel, the company has called to tell us that their interest rate will increase tenfold and that they'll be collecting their money tomorrow. If you don't have the money to pay them, they said they'll chop your right hand off. Mr. Diesel, the landlord of the office building we're renting has also called to inform that the rental will be increased tenfold and if we refuse to agree to that rental rate, we'll have to move out tomorrow. Mr. Diesel." Jake dropped his cell phone to the ground and he knelt on the ground with a dull expression on his face. After a short while, Jake suddenly screamed, "Oh my God! Who on earth did I offend?" He hit the ground frantically with his hands and he started knocking his forehead against the ground. Blood started gushing out immediately. Jake could no longer bear the huge blow and he suffered a nervous breakdown. He started foaming at the mouth and his eyes rolled to the back of his head before he fainted. Alex had a calm expression on his face as he drove. The more Emma thought about it, the more she felt something had gone amiss. Therefore, she quickly asked Alex, "What did you do to Peter? Why does it seem like he was so afraid of you?" At this time, Alex replied lightly, "I didn't do anything to him. I've been waiting for you outside all this time, so what could I possibly have done to him? He's probably in this state because he has offended too many people in his life. That's why everyone is out to get him." Emma was still a little suspicious but she thought Alex's explanation made sense. Jake had probably offended a very powerful man and he was simply putting the blame on Alex. When she thought about it, she felt a little angry and she said, "Well, Peter's really a very shameless person. He deserves to go bankrupt." Alex smiled. Indeed, he felt that Jake deserved it. Since he had provoked him, then bankruptcy was the best punishment for him. Otherwise, Jake would continue abusing his power against the weaker parties. Emma sighed at this time before she said, "It seems like I'll have to find a new business partner to talk about our collaboration then." When Alex heard Emma's words, he reminded himself to ask Doris to make sure that Diamond Group would give more work and collaboration proposals to his wife. When they both arrived at their house, Emma was still telling Alex about her next development plan for the studio. However, as soon as they entered the house, Trump rubbed his hands and walked towards them immediately. After that, He glanced at them with an awkward expression on his face before he said, Emma, your mother wants you to go back and work for Richard Group tomorrow." "What?" Emma exclaimed with a shocked expression on her face. Alex also frowned as he said, "Didn't we already decide to draw a clear line with the Richard family?" "Oh," Trump looked very embarrassed and he could only say helplessly, "I don't know what's going on with your mother, but she insists that you return to work for Richard Group." "So?" Before Trump could finish speaking, Emma asked her mom angrily, "Mom, the Richard family bullied my father and they tried to snatch Alex's villa from us. Why should we go back to work for them?"